Well, Peter Mathews is professor of political science at Cypress College. He's also the author of Dollar Democracy with Liberty and Justice for Some, a play there on, of course, with liberty and justice for all. Professor Mathews, thank you for joining us. In your book, you argue that big corporations have essentially bought the political system. This is very similar to Bernie Sanders' argument. My sense is you are Team Bernie. So I want to ask you for our viewers, why? What is it about his message that resonates with you?
Well, what it resonates is that he's pointing out the truth about the economic system having a major impact on the political system. And when a few people donate most of the money to these campaigns, they do have a major impact, and the public is seeing it's hurting them in the areas of healthcare and jobs, education. So his message of tuition-free education, Medicare for all, and Green New Deal, that resonates quite well. And he's on a roll, basically. He got 47% of the vote in Nevada to Joe Biden's, the second place finisher, Joe Biden at 19%, I believe. So South Carolina will be decisive coming up Saturday.
So Bernie Sanders' message is clearly resonating with some, with you. It's resonating with some groups. Why is it not resonating with others, older voters, for example?
Well, I think some older voters might be concerned about him describing himself as a democratic socialist, but I think that will be allayed. The fear will be allayed after a while. But when he explains himself as to what that means, it really means, as he said before, that it means having universal health care, it means having Social Security expanded, that it means having more equity between the rich and poor, narrowing the gap. It doesn't mean going to a state-run system where the state owns all the means of production. So many modern countries are doing that. I mean, if you look at Germany, they have industrial policy where the state plays a major role, but it regulates businesses, and there's still individual entrepreneurships who make a lot of good money when they invent new products. I think that if you look at the balance between government and private sector, that's what Sanders is talking about, and making sure everyone has a chance in life and doesn't get left by the wayside, like homeless people in America, for example. He
is considered by most to be the front-runner now for the Democratic Party. And you mentioned his win in Nevada. He was expected to win, but I think if you look at the numbers, and I looked at the math, he essentially had the same number of people voting for him now as voted for him in 2016. Admittedly, there is a larger field now running, but can he, with that, make the case that he is expanding his base?
Absolutely. When you have several people running against you and you still get 47%, that's more remarkable than getting 50% when only one person's running against you. So that's quite, I think it's indicative and telling of what's going on right now, and we'll have to see what happens in South Carolina. But he's also ahead in California by 8 points behind Elizabeth Warren. And in Texas, he's completely in the running with Biden and other people. So we'll have to see, and I think these states that are coming up now are more ethnically diverse. That makes a big difference for Sanders' coalition. And he has actually reached out to many people of color, much more than back in 2016. And he's getting their support.
Where are you looking to see if Sanders can do this? What obstacles are there that if you see him past those, you'll think he's taking this all the way?
Well, it's remarkable how many more percent he gained among the African-American community. He went from just in single digits to now it's 30% of the African-American voters that he's got that's backing him. And Joe Biden's lost quite a few African-American voters, so that's a big hurdle right there. He's going to expand his base. The younger African-Americans are really voting for him a lot. So I think if he can just get beyond that 50% margin when it comes down to the final delegates that are selected, that's the key right there. He's doing quite well, and he's on momentum right now. I think he's pretty happy with what's going on. He has to continue. That's the main thing.
And if he gets the nomination, what do you think Sanders will have to do ahead of the election to beat Donald Trump in November?
I think he has to mainly stick to the message of economic and social justice and environmental justice, because most Americans, when it comes to polling, the majority say we want tuition-free education. They say that they want to have universal Medicare for all, and they say that they want to have a type of new deal that is environmentally based, that will create much more high-paying jobs that were taken overseas to low-wage countries. Most Americans are with him on the issues. He just has to overcome the label of socialism, and by the way, the younger people don't have any problem with socialism. They actually have a problem with capitalism. The younger generation would support him very fervently.
All right, Peter Mathews, professor at Cypress College, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.